here. So Jordan Raanan came out talking about Matt Stafford again here. And obviously, we've talked about in the show here today, Matt Stafford is like the talking point this offseason so far for the Giants, which is crazy when you have a third overall pick and you need a quarterback. I get it that Matt Stafford is a big-name quarterback, but when you have a third overall pick, usually the thing is, what quarterback are you taking? Who will you take in the draft? Who's going to be the draft pick? Do you take a quarterback? What quarterback do you like? Instead, it's Matt Stafford, Matt Stafford, Matt Stafford. A little bit of craziness, but it seems.
We alluded to earlier in the show, like that. The big talk's like you just have to do one or the other. Just do both.
Yeah, well, if you can keep the third overall pick, that's the problem. But ESPN's Jordan Raanan said in X, it's pretty clear after the couple of days in Indianapolis that the Giants' top priority at quarterback is Matthew Stafford. See what happens with him and the Rams and move on from there.
Ooh. Yeah, I got to pull up a comment over here. Sorry, that's the wrong one. I don't think the Rams are playing us, Jay. I think it's actually Shane playing some games, which Jay comes in here for everyone out there in podcast land. As you know, you guys are getting played by the Rams. I just want to say it's probably Shane shooting out his smoking magic and his, double-sided ears. Smoking. He's playing his games just like the typical thing that we've talked about. We definitely don't want this position. We definitely don't want that guy. He's terrible.
Here's the whole thing I'm going to point out here as far as why the Rams would do this. I've heard this in a couple people. Let's say hypothetically, you don't think you're going to win a ring with the current roster with the Rams, which I could see where they would think that, even though I think they probably play the Eagles better than anybody else in this entire playoffs. But let's say that's your thought process. You don't think that you're gonna get a ring with the current roster you have. If that's the case, and you could trade Matt Stafford, get some prospects for him, get some picks, then potentially have the assets to move up next year when there's a lot more better quarterbacks, sorry. And you can get a guy like, let's say, Aaron Rodgers for a year or two. Is there that much of a drop-off between Stafford and Rodgers on the field? Now, off the field, it's a whole separate situation. I think there is because of the off the field. That's why I gave that. But do the Rams think that? The Rams think we can outsmart people, get some extra picks, and then still have a quarterback anyway.
Yeah, and when you talk about like Rodgers or Stafford, I definitely would take Matt Stafford hands down because like Rodgers, he had a terrible Achilles injury. He comes back. Like you can't really judge how he played last year because this crazy surgery had. Like he didn't play his best. Is it because of the injury? Is it because he's 41? Is it because he's playing with the Jets? So you can say on the field, Matt Stafford is still a better quarterback.
I'm going to give you this. 2022, Rodgers last year with the Packers. 64.6 completion percentage, 3,695 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a 91.1 QB rating. This past year with the Jets, 63%, 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a 90.5 passer rating. So very similar stats. Again, stats. There's an eye test that's a difference. But you can sit there and say that Aaron Rodgers on the field was not the issue for the Jets. It was the off the field stuff that caused issues. Undermining the coach, not showing up and literally planning a practice during mandatory workouts. I'm probably putting a vacation. We went to Egypt or something. I think he went to
Egypt.
Like
well, I'm saying, but how many of those yards was he throwing in garbage time because he's playing for the Jets compared to the Rams? Compared to the Rams, who started off very slow and was in a lot of these games to the bitter end all year long. I think the eye test, Stafford is like you have to go with Matt Stafford.
Like I said, I would take him in a heartbeat, and it's because of what's upstairs above the neck. That's why I would. I don't know if the shrooms have messed Rodgers up or what, but there's been rumors that that's what they would do is they would go get Rodgers. And I've heard it a couple places now. We talked about it the first time we heard it talked about which was on Colin Cowherd, I think is the first one to bring it up, if I remember right. But you could see where the Rams could sit there and say, we're building for the future while still keeping a somewhat lateral move at quarterback.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, and I guess I'm like Sean LeVay. Like, I could take that off the field stuff, like, and take it off the table when you talk about football. Do what you want to do in your personal life, just like anyone with a job. Like,
yep,
do what you want to do in your personal life. When you come to work, come to work. That's just, as long as you can do that, and that's what you're saying that Aaron Rodgers can do. I mean, I don't know. I just think he was playing a lot of garbage time.
Yeah. Like I said, this is why I think people will believe that there was a possibility because of that. And we'll see. Maybe that's wrong, but that's why I think the Rams are interested in potentially doing, because they still think they can do something at quarterback. Now, from the Giants standpoint, it's all about Schoen and Daboll trying to save their jobs.
100%.
Point blank. Because if they had job security, there would not be a mention of Stafford. They're like, he's 37. Why the hell do we want him?
Yeah. All those miles on those legs.
But now, let's say you get Stafford, you sneak into the back end of the playoffs. Ooh, look, we won. We got to the playoffs.
Yeah. Look what we did with talent.
Yeah. That talent's old now and washed up like grains of sand, but it's
can't play for the future now.
No, and that's the problem right there. So, all right, so
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.